What advice did you follow that everyone thought was stupid? My older brother told me, stop chasing a degree, learn a trade nobody wants to do anymore. Plumbers and electricians are dying out and nobody's replacing them. I was 21. Halfway through a business degree, everyone said I needed to succeed. All my friends were racking up student loans for marketing and communications programs, convinced a bachelor's degree was the only path to a real career. But my brother caught me stressing over tuition one night. He wasn't the type to lecture, but he dropped out of college at 19 to become an HVAC technician, so I figured he had a perspective worth hearing. He pulled up his bank statement on his phone and showed me a single invoice. $8,500 for 3 days of work installing AC units during a heat wave. He said, everyone wants to sit in an office. Nobody wants to crawl through attics in 110-degree heat. That's why I can charge whatever I want. Your degree will put you $80,000 in debt so you can compete for $45,000 entry-level jobs. I'll make that in 2 months. That conversation ate at me for weeks. I kept thinking about it while I sat through lectures on market segmentation and corporate strategy, watching my loan balance creep higher every semester. Finally, I went to the registrar's office and withdrew. I enrolled in a 9-month electrician apprenticeship program instead. My parents lost their minds when I told them. They said I was throwing away my future and embarrassing the family. My friends thought I'd completely lost it. They'd talk about their internships at tech startups and marketing agencies, while I showed up to hangouts covered in drywall dust. One friend said, "You're really going to spend your life doing blue-collar work? That's what people do when they can't hack college." Another laughed and said, "Good luck finding a girlfriend who wants to date a guy who smells like sawdust." They'd brag about their LinkedIn connections and networking events, then joke that my networking was asking Home Depot employees where the wire nuts were. I'll admit, there were moments pulling up to their apartments in my beat-up work van while they drove their parents' hand-me-down sedans that I wondered if my brother was wrong. But then I'd remember that $8,500 invoice, and I kept grinding. For 2 years, I worked under a master electrician, learning residential and commercial wiring. I got my journeyman license and started taking side jobs on weekends. I ran conduit, installed panels, troubleshot bad circuits, whatever paid. My social life basically ended because my friends assumed I was too broke and tired to keep up with them. While they were posting about happy hours and weekend trips, I was pulling wire through crawl spaces and studying for my master electrician exam. Then I started noticing something. Every contractor I met was booked out for months. Every homeowner I talked to had horror stories about electricians who never called back or charged a fortune for basic work. The skilled tradespeople were retiring or dying off, and nobody under 30 was learning to replace them. So I got aggressive. I got my master license at 24, younger than almost anyone in my state. I started bidding on commercial jobs my former boss was too busy to take. New construction, panel upgrades, EV charger installations that were suddenly exploding in demand. I hired 2 apprentices and bought a second van. Within 3 years, I was running a crew of 6. We were pulling in $40,000 a month in revenue, and I was taking home more than my business degree would have ever paid me. Last year, I cleared $180,000 personally. My friends are still grinding entry-level corporate jobs, making $55,000 and drowning in loan payments. 2 of them asked if I was hiring because they can't afford rent anymore. One of them admitted she's $90,000 in debt and her salary barely covers the interest. Meanwhile, I just bought a house in cash and I'm expanding to a second location. Contractors are calling me begging for help because nobody else is available. Turns out my brother was dead right. Everyone wants the degree. Nobody wants to do the work, and the ones willing to do the work can name their price.